in this video we're going to talk about how to convert fractions to decimals and decimals to fractions. So, the first thing you need to know is that to convert a fraction to a decimal, you very simply divide the numerator by the denominator. Remember, the numerator is up top, the denominator is on the bottom. So you would set up a division problem. If we have the fraction 3/4, then you're going to take 4 and divide it into 3. Okay, now, obviously 4 doesn't go into 3, so I've added a decimal, brought it up, added a couple of zeros, so now I can take 4 into 3. So 4 doesn't go into 3, but it goes into 30 7 times. Brought it down, I've got 28. Had 2, had to add another 0. 4 goes into 25 times. So 4 went into 4/3, or 3/4, excuse me, is represented by the decimal 75 hundredths, or 0.75. Now, if it is a mixed number, like if you had 3 and a 5th, then the whole number is going to stay. So I would still take my fraction and divide the numerator by the denominator. So I took 5 and divided it into 1, and I got 0.2, but I left that whole number out there. So 3 and a 5th is equal to 3.2. Okay, so the whole dividing part stayed the same, just this time I left that whole number there. I don't want to do anything to it. So that was fraction to decimal. So to go from fraction to decimal, take your numerator, divide it by the denominator. Alright, so what if you want to go the other way, decimal to fraction? This is the really easy part. Okay, so if you want to go from a decimal to a fraction, you need to know how to read it. This is why we practice knowing if it's in the tenths, or the hundredths, or the thousandths, or the 10,000ths, because you have to know where it is so you know what to put it over. So to convert a decimal to a fraction, you write it out as you would read it, and then you reduce. So for example, 0.35 read 35 hundredths. You would simply take 35 and write it over 100 and simplify it, and it simplifies to 7/20ths. This is why we practice greatest common factor, so that you know what to simplify by. And once again, if there was a whole number in front of it, if this had been 1.35, you'd have left the 1 out front. I give you the example of 2.42. This 2's got to stay. So this is read 2 and 42 hundredths. So you leave your 2, you're going to put 42 over 100. Well, 42 over 100 will simplify. So this becomes 2 and 42 hundredths. 42 and 100 are both even numbers, so we can divide them both by 2. This becomes 2 and 21 50ths. Now, on your notes, you have several examples of both going from a fraction to a decimal and a decimal to a fraction. Please complete those for class tomorrow.